Hey there, it's Alexandria B from the Martial Arts Buzz, and I'm going to go over with you today the 9 don'ts of social media branding, specifically as it pertains to Facebook. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know that these don'ts are really specifically geared towards a black belt professional who is running a martial arts school designed to attract both children through adults, someone who wants to be a respected martial arts professional within his community, running a school based on his or her student creed. If you have a brand that's slightly different, then some of these principles you may actually change up a little bit, and that's okay. But again, we're talking about our average martial arts school and what they are trying to portray and attract within their community. So my first don't for you is don't use poor grammar. You are a professional martial artist. This is the awesome opportunity you have to do what you love for a living. Using bad grammar in your post, not spelling words properly, like, not spelling out the word you, just using the letter U, etc., doesn't really portray yourself as a professional to your community. In my last video, we talked about how you want to make certain relationships on your social media sites, including like the mayor of your community or, the superintendent of schools, PTO heads, people from your chamber of commerce, and these are business professionals. You want them to view your site not as the karate guy in their community, but as the martial arts professional who has something to offer to their community. So make sure you post and read as a professional on your post. The second thing I recommend is don't have 2 social media sites. Some people say, well, I have one that I use for, my school interactions, and then I kind of have my personal one where I do my own thing. Social media rules are changing daily, and tomorrow your private page could become a public page. If you have 2 different messages going on and 2 different images, that's going to be inconsistent, and it's going to cause people not to trust you. What you need to do is decide, like I mentioned in the last video, who you are and how you want to communicate to the world. Now I get it. Sometimes you just want to post something funny or rant or rave, and there are times and places for that. Text message your friend. Go a different route. Is it really valuable to you or that important for you to have a site in which you can, say what you want to say on a whim? Is that really going to help you with your long-term goals? It's an important question to ask yourself. Don't post on your site's mundane task list. There is so much noise out there, especially where we have commercials and so many posts on Facebook and people are scrolling through nice and fast, and you're listening to your radio while sending emails and checking your Facebook while watching TV and text messaging all at the same time. You want to have posts that makes your brand stand out in that. And if you're posting your daily task list like it's your to-do list, people aren't going to notice it. So, I woke up at 6 a.m., had oatmeal, did back and try, then had a protein shake, then read a book, then did this, then did that. If you're posting that every single day, people are going to just not hear you anymore. Granted, once in a while, to relate to people and show transparency, sharing, your actions is pretty cool, but you don't want to make that a daily habit. Make sure you're not posting inappropriate content. We talked about in our last video how you need to know who your audience is. So when I say inappropriate content, I mean as it relates to your audience and your brand and your mission. That joke that you found might be really, really, really funny, but is it really going to benefit your brand to post it on Facebook? Are you going to be attractive to your superintendent of schools and the PTO and, the important people in your community? Are they going to view you as a professional, or are they going to kind of view you as, like, again, that weird karate guy? You want to really speak your brand through your post. Also, make sure you're using your security settings as you set it up. A lot of times we all have people in our lives who maybe don't know how to use social media for branding purposes or understand how it can affect the image, and maybe they're the ones that would post something inappropriate onto your timeline. Set it up so no one but you can post onto your timeline. That way you control your brand and what goes out to your audience. And again, remember your language, how you speak, that is how you are speaking to everyone in your audience. So swearing and curse words, if that's not going to better your brand, take it out. It's not going to help you with making those valuable relationships that you're trying to build. Don't share statuses from people or companies that you do not want to promote. So for example, I have seen people share these really awesome motivational pictures, but the page that it's from on Facebook is like, F the system or stupid teenager jokes or things that aren't really edifying. So if you find something that you think is really great and powerful and you want to share it, you can save that picture and share it as your own, but sharing a status you don't necessarily want to promote is not good for you or for your brand. So use caution in that. Don't post on controversial topics. Again, if your goal is to get into politics or something of the controversial nature, that's different. But for most of us who are trying to reach our communities, posting on controversial topics to our mixed audience is not going to benefit our brand, nor is it going to give us an opportunity to impact the audience out there. So, the two biggest controversial topics are things like religion and politics. Again, your choice in how you post, but keep in mind that people reading your post are all in different places and at different moments in their life. They're all having different paradigms at that time. So what you say and how you say it, even when it comes from the best intentions, if someone's in a different place, they may take it wrong and it may negatively affect your relationship. It's better to have those controversial topics face-to-face, conversational, where you can both end respecting each other. I'm a Christian. I don't hide that. I do, post about my faith, but I don't post on my faith. I don't force it on people. I don't share things that say this person's right or this person's wrong, because it's not going to help my mission to hurt people. Do not become a keyboard warrior. So when people get onto, topics that are very aggressive, or someone posts something that you're just like, I want to argue with this person. Again, how is it going to speak to your brand? And how are people going to view you when you start arguing back and forth with someone on Facebook or on other social media platforms? Back to what I said, face-to-face is better, more respectful anyways. But your students, again, back to the superintendent of schools and the PTO and people from your Chamber of Commerce, they're all going to see this stuff. And how are they going to view you if that's the only knowledge or information they have on you? Don't get distracted by Facebook. You are a professional. Facebook and other social media tools are just that. They are your tools. Getting caught up in Facebook drama, the he said, she said, Facebook gaming, negativity on Facebook. I see so much of that from school owners that just want to gripe and complain about every little thing in their life. Is that make you attractive to your audience? Because I know that I'm not looking to you as somebody that I want to follow or I want to get to know. And your community is going to view you the same way. You're going to be that miserable, cranky karate guy or girl that's always, talking about how awful everything in their life is. Keep it real, but at the same time, what is real? You really need to evaluate if all your posts are negative all the time. There's something deeper going on that you need to address, and you need to take a step back, because you cannot effectively run a successful martial arts school if you have negativity in your heart all the time. Do not unfriend people. Unfriending is not beneficial. Again, you want to be able to communicate your brand and your message and your image to as many people as possible. So, of course, we also want to control our input. None of us want to read all those negative posts from people who always just seem to have nothing good to say, or, people who just post a lot of inappropriate content that doesn't jive with us. So there's this really cool feature Facebook now has, which is called the unfollow button. I actually am very particular about what I allow into my newsfeed, because my input does determine my output. So I unfollow most things, and I only follow things that are going to help me with my goals and my visions and my missions. Friends who are like-minded, who I know their posts are going to, make me work a little bit harder or push a little bit further. So again, don't unfriend people, but you can unfollow them so that you don't have to see all the things they post. And make sure you take some time and check out our website, themartialartsbuzz.com, for even more information on how to have a great branding experience and to find out how we can help you become the powerful brand in your community that you're meant to be. Live it, love it, Black Belt Lifestyle.